So yeah. So in terms of C++, well, why it is so alluring for speaking of if you're coming from any other programming language background, or like you don't have any intention of using C++, right now is the time for you to end your watching experience and then we'll skip to your next task, in my opinion. Yeah. So in terms of C++, well, why it is so alluring? Well, you can include and exclude your libraries, and then, well, it provides more freedom compared to C#. Also, you don't have to use something called Visual Studio. It was 16 gigabytes of space when I used it. It was like a few years ago. I don't remember, and I should not, hopefully. Nowadays, it's just, well, I think they made it 30 gigabyte, and then, well, nowadays updates are like making application size shrink. I have no idea. So yeah. Yeah. So well, C++, yeah. Also, it allows you to, well, this creative freedom, and then, well, it saves you from this assembly stage, so that you can like live comfortably, eat like normal human being, and then, well, not in general. It's like, yeah. So it goes like this. So first of all, well, what should be the point while you're reading this book? First of all, if you don't have any programming experience, or you don't have any legitimate as in like you don't have any, like, I worked certain place for a few years, I have no idea on your CV or like curriculum vitae, and that's my plus. Well, it's you don't need to like focus on certain things. You don't need to be like, I'm going to reach everything, I'm going to learn everything. No, that will tire you to an extent that you should not be knowledgeable or knowledge about. So yeah. Yeah. So, well, thing is, well, first of all, for instance, yes, while including libraries, there is a library that you should be using. It says IO stream. Well, for instance, while reading book, everyone can, well, can as in its ability. However, well, for instance, do you know what IO stream is? It's input output stream, and then, well, while reading, your, I don't know, brain, not mind, thankfully, will automatically try to read it as IO stream. Well, because you've been subjected to too much iOS. No, it's input output stream. And force yourself to read it every single time as input output stream. Well, you don't have to warn anyone. However, this will make you a better like thinker if you want to use this intellect-based approach in your life. Also, for instance, there are some things such as, well, how you see that it's like there are no loops until certain chapter in book, and it's like at least I think 200 to 300 pages. You should not be bothering about why I'm not learning how to define variable, why didn't I name variable x, however it says v here. Well, why I'm not facing an if else statement. If these are the questions that you want to focus on, or you want to like learn, then this is not your field, this is not your book. Yeah, this is my opinion for your information. So it begins with it begins with certain, well, simple subject that you should be, well, really careful about. First of all, I'm not going to tell you what RAII stands for. So memory management. For now, let's string handling. Well, so well, in here actually you should be careful about well, these are your basic JavaScript script functions. Other than that, you're basing things on well, like Windows command line level. This is for your information. In my opinion, well, containers is very important. Also, you should be able to, well, you should be focusing on third chapter. If you don't know what bimap or multi-index is, well, no. Well, you can read and learn. So, in my opinion, focus on data structures. Well, however, there's the thing. For instance, you just read, well, 25 boost.property3. Well, if you don't remember, don't understand, don't try to reread that chapter before you complete your task or like complete your reading. That's very important because, well, turning back before you finish something, especially in terms of programming, is very harmful. And then, well, this lodge of programmers that like doesn't exist, in my opinion. Did you sign anywhere? No. However, you're a programmer, you don't know. Will terribly be unhappy, in my opinion. Also mad. So be careful. Well, algorithms, don't expect too much. In my opinion, these are just basic function explanations. However, I don't have legitimate or like computer science degree, so communication, yes. So this is where you should be careful about.